Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Chris here. Wanted to bring you guys a little update on Litecoin. First of all, I hope you guys are having a great day. If you could hit that like button, hit the subscribe, all that type of stuff. I appreciate you guys tuning in here with me. So we're looking at Litecoin and we're looking at it on the 4-hour chart right now. So guys, what I've really been paying attention to are higher highs and higher lows, because that essentially is what's going to make it so that we're in this at least bull market in the interim, the short term, whatever, until we can get this trend reversed. So guys, what we're seeing right here, this is when this downtrend came to a stop, right at this point here, okay, with almost this bullish piercing pattern. And then what we ran up to this resistance point at 123, which I've had this line on here for a while now, guys. So we ran up and we hit it. We came back down. We made a higher low than right here. Okay, then we started a run up right here, and we broke over top of this line, and this was our higher high. So you see how it's higher than here? Just like that. Then we got pushed back down again, and this is our higher low, higher than here. So you see how that's stair climbing right here, right here, right here. Those are your higher lows, and then right here again we had a higher low following along this trend line. So that's really important. I had that trend line drawn. Let me get one of them out of here, guys. This one right there. Okay, so you can see this overall trend line. And remember, a trend line is 2 points or more. So we had our 1 point here, another point here. So that made our trend. And then you can see this right here. We came up, which we had a lower high, but we had a higher low. And then we came back up again. It almost looks like a little shooting star right here. We tried to push through this overhead resistance. You see how we've just been traveling along the top there? And we've kind of been in this channel, guys. We were going up, then we went down. Now we're trying to go back up again. Now we're traveling sideways. So what we have to have, if this does sell back off again, we need another higher low. Because if this comes back down here and breaks these, then we have a lower low. And then that would basically stop the trend that we've been having here. So that's really important, guys. I want you to pay attention to that channel that we've been in. Now we're just kind of moving sideways right now. And what I have up is the 10 EMA and the 20 EMA. Those are exponential moving averages. And right now we're using them as support. Right there, they're both twisted together. So this is where it really shows that consolidation, moving sideways. And a lot of the times, though, guys, when you have this move where you're going up and down, just like that, then you move sideways. A lot of times that's consolidation, which can go into a continuation pattern, which since we have been having the higher highs, higher lows, all that, the next stop I would see out of this continuation pattern with good volume would be to come up and try to test the top of this trend line here. I'm not saying it's going to happen. We could break either way because we're moving sideways, guys. We could break down through this trend line here, but that's really important to keep. This is our overhead resistance. We need to break through that, make a move with good volume, see if we can come back up and try to test this and set a higher high. Okay, because remember, here, higher high, then we went down, we had the higher low, but we didn't have the higher high. We moved up and we've just been moving sideways. So we at least have to have a higher low put in. And then, guys, here's our volume. So we had a nice little bit of volume coming in. Right here was a very good volume bar. And I'm hoping that's what actually sets this whole trend here, keeps us moving. Because a lot of times when you see a big volume spike like that, that's out of the ordinary, when our typical volume's been down around in here, and then you see something that's more than double, that could be a sign that you're having a run for the next little bit. So MACD, we are over top, and you could see that bullish divergence that took place. You see on the histogram how sharp that was? That move right here. Then we flipped to the positive, and now we've just been traveling sideways, and you can see we've been up above. So that's going to be important to hold that. And I also want to look at the RSI with you. All right, guys, so the same deal with the RSI. We're just kind of moving sideways right now. But what you can see here, I want you guys to really pay attention to this because it's hard to get it first. But once you understand this, like how a bear market, when you're traveling down, you're going to have lower lows and lower highs. But right here, there's the first start. Then we made a run back up here. Then right there, and then we came up here, and then hopefully right there we're not going to break that, and then that is our lower highs. If you can see that. So that's why that trend is so important. But we need to set a higher high. I want to get over top of this right here. So this is going to be important to get over on the RSI. You see that? We came up right to here, came back down, made a weak attempt at it, came back down, weak attempt, dropped down, came back up, hit it again, came down, and now let's see if we get enough strength to go up and through that. Okay, so people would be kind of looking at that like that wedge pattern. And you never know, guys, because in wedge patterns, yes, there's bearish wedges, there's bullish wedges, there's falling wedges, ascending wedges, all different type stuff, but there still is always a chance that it could break the opposite of what you thought it was going to break, which had the higher percentage mark, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's a chance that anything can happen in this game, so just be aware. And guys, a lot of people will have their stop losses underneath this right here, in case we do break down and have a lower low, or some people be, you know, have it down in here and this past this 115, because that would mean this one broke, you broke past this one, you broke past this one, you broke past this one. So obviously a new trend is going to happen. You're going to have that low, then you're going to try to come up, and then it could go back down. So just keep an eye on all that. Just want you to pay attention to it. Let's see our Bollinger Bands. And if you guys like what I do here, just please comment, like, subscribe, all that. It really helps out. So there's our Bollinger Bands. And the Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten. And a lot of the times before we see a move, guys, you'll have that tightening. And what I do like on the 4 hour here is we're above this middle band. Right now, we're treating that middle band as support, not as resistance. So keep that in mind as well. We'll see if we're getting ready for a move. Do you remember, see right here when these bands, they were wider, and then they constricted and came in tighter, and then you had that move up. And we're kind of having that now. They've been wider, and now they're starting to come back in a little bit. So we're going to have to see what happens, guys. This is going to be a day you really want to keep your eyes on things and pay close attention to it. So that's the Bollinger Bands. And then the last one I want to do is just the stock, see what's going on there. Okay. Let's do this one first. Okay, so guys, we're at 66 and 70 on that one. You see we had that downward cross here starting to hook a little bit, so we'll see if we can get back up through that, or we're going to see if we have a little pullback before we make another attempt at that. So pay close attention there. And remember, this is on the 4 hour, not the 1 day. Each one of these candles represents 4 hours. So let's do the stock RSI now. Okay. So it's 70 and 78 right now, guys. And you can see typically when we've had like these pullbacks up here and then we start to pull back down, we have been around close to that 100 range. So we still do have a little bit of room to run before we are at the top of that, because we're at 70. So there's still 30 there that we could make a little move on. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to check the 1 day for us. I just wanted to look at our triangle, our symmetrical triangle that we've been in. And guys, also pay attention to this. There's been some people who've been pointing this out. We got to be careful. That big fall, then we have a move up here. We don't want this to be a bear flag and then have another break if we break this trend line and then we break down hard. So keep that in mind. And we really want to pay attention. Let me get those out of the way. Some of these marks here, guys. Okay. So that triple bottom that we've been putting in, really pay attention. I'm sorry, guys. My cursor's moving weird on me. I can't get it to... There we go. Okay, we'll just call it right there. But you can see back here, we wicked down to it twice. We wicked down, had that tweezer bottoms here, tweezer bottoms here, tweezer bottoms here. We came back down, hit it again. We had a bullish engulfing candle. We started to move up. Then we have what looks like, at least from this angle, we kind of had that shooting star. Then we got pushed back down. This almost looks like we're having a little bit of a hammer candle here. And then we're going to see if we can move up and bust through that 20, I believe it's the 10 and the 20 EMA, which we need to get over. They're acting as resistance here on the 1 day. And let's pull out our Bollinger Bands for that as well. Let's take a look. Okay. So guys, just really pay attention to this lower line here, that 108 or so, because if we break this triple bottom, we could really go down hard. I'm not anticipating that, but you always have to be aware that anything could happen. Okay, so just be aware. Anything could happen. But my hope is that we're going to continue to have some more volume and some follow through, and we're going to get up over this middle band and these moving averages and start working up in here, which would be nice, that 130 to 140 range, that channel. So keep an eye on all this, guys. I appreciate you checking in with me, and it's just a pleasure to be here with you all. I know there's some people who get stressed out about all this stuff, and I just want to be here to help you. Let's throw on the fib real quick. I just was looking at that. All right, guys, just want to see it in this way first. So we'll go up to those tweezer tops. So we have a lot of overhead resistance. Besides those moving averages, we have this, we dropped all the way down, and now we're going back up. It's basically trying to get through that 786 there. I want to do it in another way as well. So we're going to take it from the downtrend now, and that should be the 236 that we're trying to bust through. Yeah, so the 236. So we have that overhead resistance. We have these moving averages overhead resistance. So we really need to pay attention to that, guys. Keep an eye right here as well, that 113 or so. We want to hold that as support. But pay attention, guys, where you have those higher lows. Down here, then we had a higher low here. Now let's see if we can set a higher high, then come down and set a higher low. So keep all that in mind. God bless each and every one of you. We're at a 121.54 right now. So let's see if we can make a move, guys. Be cautious, be aware, be ready, and just pay attention and continue to do your studying during this time. That's what I've really been, because it's a really hard market right now. I've even heard a lot of guys like the chart guys and stuff who've done this for a long time. They said it's almost kind of like a no trade zone, anything like that. It's just one to really watch and pay attention till we have true confirmation, because anything could happen at this point. So just really wait to see if this trend will reverse and we can start moving back up, guys, so we can make an overall shot at this 184 again. We need to get back up over top of that, because on the 1 day we've had, see these guys, let me get the fib off here, and this is more so with we had this high, then we went down to here, so a lower high, lower high, lower high. We need to get back up and set a higher high here and get over top of this. We've had the lower highs, but we have had higher lows just barely. Barely, barely, barely. We're talking by the cents, guys. But we have had them. And we've held this triple bottom here. So it's time for us to make a move, essentially. If something's going to happen, it should be happening fairly soon for a run. That, I'm not saying a run like this where we're going up to here, but a run and a shot over the next few weeks to get up over top of this one. And if we get over top of this, you can see we have, I mean, there's obviously some resistance stuff here, but we have a little room to run. We had 185 up to 254. There's some room to run there. So pay attention, guys. Look for that volume, and take care.